Boys and gerbilets. My goal, sorry, I forget the camera's right there. My goal for these videos is to keep them short, right? I don't want to take up all y'all's time. I don't like hearing myself speak for too long. I couldn't imagine you hearing me speak for too long, right? So today's video, I'm going to try to keep it short and brief, but I also, some of my favorite videos that I personally watch and subscribe to, I don't know if that's the proper word. Some of the people that I like to listen to, it's just them talking. It's just them spewing ideas, ranting, I guess is what they call it. So I'm going to do a little bit of that with you guys as well. And today's video, I'm going to talk about utilizing the tools that you have in front of you, and don't think to yourself like, I don't have the means, so therefore I can't do it, or I can't accomplish whatever it is that I'm after, right? When it comes to preparedness and stuff, there are people that are light years ahead of me. Again, there's some of the people that come to mind that I like to watch a lot would be like, I don't know, like Scooch or the Southern Prepper, Bear Independent. There's lots of really good people. The Dirty Civilian guys. Like, there's lots of people that are going to give you probably better content than me, you know? And I highly recommend going to watch them, because how I got to where I got in my life was by watching guys like that and taking lessons and making goals and achieving those goals. And if I couldn't achieve that goal, I would make little sub goals under that would allow me to slowly climb to the goal that I was after. So that's what I want to talk about with you guys today. I know there's like this thing right now with preppers that people are all saying like prepping is like dead, and like I understand the aspect to that. I think that what they mean by that is that that our economy is very inflated, and the price of stuff is just gone through the roof. I mean, the price of silver is crazy. The price of storage food is crazy. Everything is just so freaking expensive all the time. Ammo, don't get me started on ammo. I want to cry. But that being said, I think a lot of people are just done buying stuff. I think buying shit is kind of like unfeasible. I think there was a nice window there in time, and I think that window is gone. I don't think you should continue. I don't think you should stop. Don't stop. Obviously work. I mean, if you're a man, a woman, whatever it is, if you're a human, you're put on this earth, on God's green earth, in order to toil, right? Like, you're supposed to be here working and prepping in any different, financially, blah, 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 blah. So don't stop. Clearly, work hard, make money, put that money into areas that you think are going to help you succeed in a time of need, okay? Again, guys like Bear Independent, they have like little chalkboards in the background where they write shit down, and they just make it so foolproof for you in order to, like, these are the subcategories, and like the big things are obviously like beans, bullets, band-aids. That's what I preach, beans, bullets, band-aids, because I'm a moron, so I try to keep it really simple for other morons. So let's talk about just getting started, right? Getting started prepping, I don't think it's nearly as monetary and tangible, like shit you can buy, as much as I think it's a mindset. I think that prepping is a mindset and a style of living, and the sooner you start, the better you get at it and the better you feel about it, right? So I'm not some super well accomplished prepper, okay? I'm not Bear Independent. I'm not Southern Prepper 101 or whatever his name is. I'm not, nothing fancy. I'm not these guys, okay? I'm just a simple dude living a simple life, and I feel as if being prepared is a smart thing to do. And For me, I remember the first time I like came in contact with this kind of information. I was in my early 20s, maybe like 25, something like that. Uh, I was getting out of the street life. If you guys know my story, I think I talked about my story a little bit on one of my older videos. I grew up kind of a street kid, and I was already snapping out of that life, but prepping helped me snap out of that life. Obviously, God, our creator, helped me snap out of that life more than anything. But I think God, our creator, also put it on my heart and maybe your heart to give us the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And when I got this information, I heard it in my soul, and I just knew right then and there that I not only had to clean up my act, but I had to become a better, well-rounded person. And that is the crux of what we're getting at today, becoming a better, well-rounded person. It does not take any money. When I started my prepping journey, I was, again, I was fresh off the street light. I was coming off of drugs. I had nothing. Previously I had plenty of money from the streets and all that, and I squandered that, but I was essentially starting from zero. So if you were that person, if you are starting from zero, you could be a farm kid in Indiana. If you are starting from zero, you have to use the tools that are around you, and the tools that are around you is just what you got. So I think the three big things are educating yourself. Maybe not three, I'm not gonna put a number on it, but like, you got to educate yourself, you got to get your body in shape, and then comes the other thing, the toys and shit. So the toys don't come without working hard, and all this stuff kind of compiles. The harder you work, the better you get at making money. Then you put your money into other areas that essentially are good investments. Okay, and so it's motivating, it helps you out. Do it. So you don't have to have anything, okay? But you do need to have a good physically fit body. If you are not in shape, you are going to die. As Grantham always says, if you are not in shape, you are going to die. You don't need a gym, okay? Push-ups, squats, pull-ups, run. That's it. Push-ups, squats, pull-ups, run. And when I say squats, I mean air squats. Just squatting down, standing up, squatting down, standing up. Do it 1,000 times. Bruce Lee was one of my favorite dudes when I was younger. His whole method, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe his whole method wasn't lifting heavy weight. It was lifting little weights lots of times. And I had shoulder surgeries growing up, so there was some overlap there where I understood that I couldn't lift a lot of weight, so I had to lift a little weight a lot of times, and that helped me. And again, if that's you, if you got medical problems and shit, don't let that stop you. You have to start somewhere. So that's what I'm saying is, go online, start educating yourself on the areas that you need to be prepping, and then start doing the works. And obviously life is going to get in the way, relationships are going to get in the way, but it's that little thing where an inch at a day becomes a mile. An inch a day becomes a mile. If you are too poor to store water, or you don't have anywhere to store water, again, it's not necessarily about the water storage. It's about the mindset of, I'm able to clean water, filter water, acquire water. I know where to find water. I know how to seek out water. I know how to carry water. It's knowing the things about water before even just like having the water and storing the water. If you do have a place to store water, start with a little water bottle. Put a gallon up. Put 2 gallons up. The next thing you know, you got 50 gallons. You're like, holy shit, I got too many gallons of water. This isn't working. Go get a drum, pour all that into the one drum. Make sure you can move that drum by yourself or with a hand cart or with a friend or something. It's no good to you if you can't move it. But the thing is educating yourself. Educate yourself. Learn the things, do the things that are going to allow you to perpetually grow in this space. Because if you are like me, then you can see what's on the horizon, right? It's not good. And I don't want any problems. We don't want any problems. I want to barbecue in my backyard and swim in my pool with my wife and my family and shit. I don't want to sit in a tree with my face painted. That's the last thing I want to do. Um, so start small. Start small. Even if you do have a ton of money, I've had a ton of money before and I've bought shit that was a complete waste of money. Money's not going to fix your fucking problem, bro. You can go get an army tank. If you don't know how to use that army tank, if you don't know how to position that army tank, if you don't understand strategery, then it's no good to you. So educate yourself, hop online, get some good books, read books, watch videos. I don't read, I sign and draw, but I watch tons of videos, so much so that I'm like connected to the quantum entanglement that I'm just like downloading information. I don't know where half this shit comes from. I just know that the more information that you cram into your head, you eventually start to retain it. So retain this information. Start going on YouTube, start going on BitChute or wherever you find it, or I don't know, X, and read about it. I don't know. But acquire the information, right? Get that information. That is the catalyst to beginning to do things. You don't know what to fucking do until somebody tells you what to do. When you first walk into a job, you don't know what the job is. You don't know. You might know what the job description is. Prepping is a job description. The description is prepping, right? So we know what we're gonna be doing. We just don't know how to do it because no one has told us how to do it. So go find people online that are way smarter than me and start acquiring information. Okay, that is the biggest thing I can absolutely tell anyone. Start acquiring information, right? The other thing to do is like putting into practice. Again, the in shape thing, you have to be in shape. Your mind has to be clean and clear. And I'm not talking like sober as a judge or whatever. I'm talking like vigilant, aware, self-awareness, situational awareness. You just got to be on point, and you're not going to be on point if you're not ingesting good food into your mind and your soul. So start looking up information, then start doing it. Put it into practice. And you don't have to, when it comes to working out, there's zero excuse. Okay, you should be working out no matter what. If you eat ramen every day, there's no reason to not work out. If you eat steak every day and you eat like a king, there is no reason for you to not be working out. You should be working out every day, 5 days a week, bare minimum. If you're making excuses and not doing it, we all do it. We all fall off the band. We all fall off the wagon and get back on and shit. It happens, but it's the inch a day becomes a mile. So start saving your water. Start saving your ramen noodles in a closet. I like to get a Foot Locker, and I like to just start throwing shit in the Foot Locker. Whether it's a Pelican case or just a shitty bin with a lid on it that you got for free. Start putting stuff into that bin and closing that lid, and don't even look at it. It's just like money. Put it in the piggy bank. Don't even look at it and just forget it exists. And the next thing you know, you'll have different bins with all different shit in it, and then you can start weeding through that stuff and start really prioritizing things. Where do I have an excess? Where am I insufficient? Like where, you're able to dial in these problems a little more. Same with like working out, Are my arms weak? Can I do a pull-up? Are my legs overly strong? I don't have to work those out as much, But the thing is there's zero excuses to not be doing these things. All this shit is free. This shit is not free, obviously. But the information that eventually builds you to getting this shit is free. Get the information and start putting that information into practice. And I feel like I can't say that enough. I'll probably wrap the video up right there. Just information is everything. And with the internet, we're living in like the golden age of information. Even though the powers that be cut off a lot of the information from us, the good stuff that we don't know, like how to cure cancer and stuff, that information's out there, but they don't want us to know it. Same with prepping. The information is out there. It's just regulated to an extent. So start looking this shit up. Start putting it into practice. And I think your ultimate goal, like Bear Independent always says, the ultimate goal is is to be able to produce this stuff on your own. You know, it starts with preps and then it eventually becomes a garden. And then you're not just prepping food, you're making food. You know, you're not just prepping water, you're harvesting water out of a spring or a well or whatever it is, you know. But again, it starts with information. So I think that's where we're going to leave it. We're going to keep it nice and short. Get the information, put it into practice, and start small, aim small, miss small, start small. An inch a day eventually becomes a mile. So that's hopefully my motivation for you. Um, I hope you're getting ready out there. I hope we never have to be ready. I hope we're all getting fat and lazy in a lawn chair in our 60s, but who knows? God be with you.